From the very first moment the cameras flashed last night, fans were stunned because Johnny Depp didn't look like the suave, sharp, unshakable Hollywood legend they've come to adore. Instead, he appeared drained, fragile, almost haunted, and within minutes, social media exploded with one question flooding every timeline: what is happening to Johnny Depp? People who have followed him for decades say they have never seen him like this. Not during the trials, not during his toughest years, not even in the most chaotic chapters of his public battles. Something about the way he moved, slow, almost heavy, like each step carried a secret, sent fans into a full-blown panic. "Johnny looks tired, but not normal tired," one fan wrote. Another added, "This is the look of someone carrying a burden we don't know about." And by the time the event ended, hashtags like #PrayForJohnny and #JohnnyDeppTruth were trending worldwide. But the real panic began when a backstage insider leaked a short, grainy clip recorded moments before Johnny stepped into the spotlight. In the footage, he rubs his forehead, takes a deep breath, and whispers, "Not tonight, please, not tonight." The internet froze. Who was he talking about? What was he avoiding? And most importantly, what did he mean? Fans were shocked, and emotions ran high as new angles from the event began popping up. One showed Johnny's hands trembling slightly while he signed autographs. Another captured him staring off to the side, like someone had just told him something he wasn't ready to hear. And the reactions, they came fast. "His energy is off. He looks exhausted. Something is wrong. This isn't just stress. Someone needs to check on him." Even the paparazzi, usually loud and relentless, went strangely quiet around him, as if they sensed the tension radiating off him like heat. One photographer later admitted it felt like he was fighting something internally. Something big, and then came the twist that set the fanbase on fire. A longtime friend of Johnny's allegedly contacted a tabloid, claiming this wasn't just exhaustion, it was a warning sign. According to the anonymous friend, Johnny has been carrying a truth for months, something he's tried to handle quietly, something that has taken a toll far greater than anyone realizes. The friend didn't reveal what the truth was, but the way they ended the message sent shockwaves across social media. "If people knew what he's dealing with, they'd understand the look in his eyes." That single sentence threw gasoline on an already blazing rumor storm. What truth? Who is involved? Why now? As theories spread like wildfire, ranging from a secret feud to new legal trouble to a family crisis, fans grew even more desperate to understand what could push someone as resilient as Johnny Depp to the edge of exhaustion. Because if Johnny looked this drained in public, imagine what he might be facing in private. And tonight, the world wants answers. The moment Johnny Depp walked onto that stage looking pale, drained, and distant, the world felt a shift. Fans who had followed him through every triumph, every heartbreak, every chaotic headline stopped breathing for a moment. Johnny wasn't just tired, he looked changed, as if something inside him had cracked quietly, privately, without warning. At first, people thought it was lighting, maybe makeup, maybe jet lag. But no, this was different. This wasn't the usual Hollywood fatigue. It was the kind of exhaustion that comes from emotional battles, hidden secrets, and nights spent awake replaying memories you wish you could erase. And the most terrifying part, Johnny knew people noticed. Backstage staff recalled the exact moment his smile faded before stepping out. One grip from the crew described it vividly. He took a deep breath like someone preparing for war. And when he exhaled, his shoulders dropped. Not like he was relaxing, more like he had accepted something he couldn't fight anymore. Fans were shocked, and emotions ran high as whispers spread through the venue. But what no one knew yet was that Johnny's exhausted expression wasn't accidental. It was triggered by something that happened just minutes before he faced the cameras. A confrontation, a message, a visitor Johnny hoped he would never see again. According to a source from the event, someone who saw everything but asked to remain anonymous, a woman arrived backstage with no warning, escorted by someone from Johnny's inner circle. Her presence was unexpected, unwanted, dangerous. The source said, when Johnny saw her, he froze. His whole face changed, the color drained out, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. This mysterious woman allegedly approached him holding a manila envelope, worn at the edges, sealed tightly. According to the insider, Johnny murmured, "Why now? Please, not today." But she allegedly replied, "You don't get to choose anymore." They deserve the truth. That sentence alone cracked the internet open within hours. Who were they? Fans? Family? The public? Someone from Johnny's past? Rumors ignited like wildfire. Some fans believed she was tied to an old legal matter. Others swore she was connected to a past relationship. A smaller, more dramatic corner of the internet insisted she carried documents that could end everything. But the real storm began when another backstage employee leaked the audio of Johnny's voice, not meant for the public, speaking in a low, shaken tone. "I can't lose everything again. Not over this, again." That one word was all it took. People immediately connected it to the turmoil he had faced before, the court battles, the headlines, the betrayals, the loss of privacy, the emotional damage that left scars deeper than anyone could understand. Fans cried out online, "Johnny's been through enough. He deserves peace. Why is someone dragging him back into something painful?" But chaos only grew when journalists noticed something strange. At the event, Johnny wasn't surrounded by his usual team. His longtime bodyguard, Jerry Judge Jr., was there, but several key team members who normally never left his side were missing. One reporter tweeted, "Something is off with Johnny's camp tonight. Tension everywhere. Even his bodyguard looks stressed." Meanwhile, Johnny's sister, Christy, had been spotted hours earlier arguing on the phone outside a private residence in LA. One paparazzi camera caught her saying, "Tell her not to do this." "He isn't ready," the internet erupted. Her, the mysterious woman with the envelope. What wasn't he ready for? Then things got dramatic, very dramatic. A close friend of Johnny's, a musician he toured with recently, posted a cryptic message on Instagram that said, "Protect your peace, brother. Not every truth deserves daylight." Within minutes, the post was deleted. Fans screenshotted it instantly, sending the fandom into pure hysteria. What truth? What was being hidden? What would destroy daylight? Even celebrities chimed in privately, sending support, checking in, whispering behind the scenes that Johnny had been off for weeks. One actor who had worked with him confidentially told a journalist, "Johnny's been quieter than usual. Withdrawn, something's weighing on him," but the biggest twist was still coming. Because according to yet another anonymous source, yes, this night was full of them, Johnny had been warned for weeks that something from his past was about to resurface. Something he thought was buried, something he believed would never return. And now, apparently, that secret had arrived, in the form of a woman holding an envelope. The source claimed Johnny said under his breath, "I knew this day would come. I just hoped it wouldn't." When he stepped out onto that stage looking exhausted beyond belief, fans believed it was physical tiredness. But no, it was fear, it was anticipation, it was the emotional collapse of a man who realized he could no longer run from a truth he had been hiding for years. And the world had no idea just how deep that truth went yet. As Johnny walked off stage after his brief appearance, he didn't linger, didn't wave, didn't stay for extra photos like he usually did. His steps were quick but unsteady, as if the ground beneath him felt wrong. And the moment he disappeared behind the curtain, witnesses heard the tension erupt. A crew member claimed that Johnny's voice, usually even and calm, was shaky, almost breaking. "I can't do this tonight," he murmured, pacing back and forth, fingers tangled in his hair. "Not like this, not after everything I've rebuilt." That was when Jerry, his loyal bodyguard, stepped in. Jerry had been with Johnny through scandals, heartbreaks, legal battles. He knew the difference between ordinary stress and something deeper. "Johnny," Jerry said quietly, "she's waiting in the lounge. She says she won't leave until she talks to you." Johnny froze. Witnesses described his reaction as pure devastation. He whispered, "She shouldn't be here." "She promised," and that's when the whispers turned into headlines. Who was the woman who had made Johnny Depp, one of the strongest, most resilient celebrities alive, look like a man standing on the edge? A journalist with access to insider circles released a tweet that blew the situation wide open, hearing from very reliable sources that Johnny's exhaustion isn't physical, but connected to someone from his past resurfacing with serious accusations or demands. Accusations. Demands. A resurfaced figure from the past. Fans went wild. Was it a long-lost family member? A former assistant? A past flame? Someone tied to old controversies? But then came the twist that escalated everything. A leaked text message exchange allegedly involving a member of Johnny's team. The message read, "She says the envelope contains proof. Real proof. If he refuses to meet her, she's taking it public." That line alone triggered a global meltdown. Proof of what? People instantly assumed the worst. Did Johnny hide something? Is this another lawsuit waiting to happen? What could be so bad it would break him like this? Quote, "But the truth, or the rumor of the truth, was even more dramatic." According to an entertainment insider, this woman wasn't just someone from Johnny's past, she was someone tied to a secret that could divide his entire family. And allegedly, this secret had been protected for years, buried beneath NDAs, sealed court documents, and personal sacrifice. One crew member overheard Johnny pleading, "Please don't drag everyone into this. Let me handle it privately." but the woman reportedly responded, "Private is over." "You made sure of that years ago." Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. Speculation reached a fever pitch. Meanwhile, someone in the venue lounge described tense voices and then silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Johnny eventually emerged, looking even more exhausted than before. His eyes were red, his breathing uneven, and according to the witness, it looked like whatever was in that envelope crushed him. As Johnny left the venue, journalists shouted questions, but he ignored all of them, unusual for him, since he often greeted even the most aggressive reporters with respect. What truly set social media ablaze, however, was the footage of Johnny sitting inside the SUV, head in his hands, completely still. Not moving, not speaking, just broken. His fans immediately began defending him. "He's been through enough, leave him alone. Why is someone targeting him again? Johnny's not perfect, but he doesn't deserve this." But the counter-theories were brutal. What if the envelope exposes something huge? What if this is the real Johnny we never knew? What if this is connected to the past he tried to erase? Even more shocking was when Johnny's ex-wife Lori-Ann Allison, someone rarely involved in drama, posted a vague message on social media just hours later. "Sometimes we think the past is finished with us, until it knocks on the door again." Fans lost their minds. Was she referring to Johnny? Was she connected to the mysterious woman? Did she know what was in the envelope? Theories multiplied every second. Meanwhile, backstage employees continued leaking more details. One claimed that after the confrontation, Johnny whispered to Jerry, "I knew she would come back. I just didn't expect it to be today. Not when I'm finally getting my life back." These words sparked a wave of emotional reactions from supporters who remembered how hard Johnny fought to restore his reputation after years of public turmoil. A fan wrote, "He deserves peace. Whoever she is, she should leave him alone," but peace wasn't coming. Because by midnight, a piece of the envelope's contents had allegedly been leaked to a small gossip blog, one known for burying stories until bigger outlets picked them up. The blog posted blurred documents with a headline that made fans choke. "Is Johnny Depp hiding a family secret?" Anonymous source claims shocking revelation could shift everything. A family secret, something so intense it could shift everything. People went into a frenzy. Johnny had always been fiercely private about his family, protective to a fault. So the idea that someone could weaponize something that personal against him sent fans into outrage and fear. Could it be a secret child, a hidden relationship, a long-buried feud, an old scandal that never made it to the press? No one knew yet, but everyone sensed one thing. Johnny Depp was standing at the edge of a storm he couldn't stop because the truth wasn't waiting anymore. It was already coming. As dawn approached, the internet was already drowning in theories, accusations, emotional breakdowns, and fan-made timelines tracing Johnny's entire past. Every old interview, every rare family clip, every red carpet moment was being dissected frame by frame as if the truth was hiding somewhere in his expressions. But while fans were busy connecting dots, Johnny was reportedly dealing with a crisis behind closed doors. Sources claimed that immediately after leaving the venue, Johnny drove straight to a secluded private residence, one he used specifically for moments when he needed silence, privacy, and space to think. That alone was unusual. He normally stayed with close friends or at home after events. But that night, he went alone. A neighbor later told a tabloid his car pulled up fast and he sat there for a long time before getting out. He looked exhausted, like a man carrying the weight of 10 years on his shoulders. Inside the residence, things were even more intense. One insider, someone who claimed to be among the small group Johnny eventually called for support, said Johnny walked into the house and immediately collapsed onto the sofa, dropping the envelope onto the coffee table like it was radioactive. He didn't open it, he didn't speak, he just stared at it, breathing heavily. After several minutes of silence, he finally whispered, "I thought I buried this. I thought it would stay buried." The insider said the others exchanged fearful glances, unsure whether to ask questions or simply stay quiet. One close friend finally spoke, "Johnny, is it what we think it is?" Johnny didn't answer. He just rubbed his forehead and sighed, a long, tired, defeated sigh that made everyone in the room fall silent again. One friend placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You don't have to go through this alone." But Johnny reportedly responded, "I already did. And now it's back." Those words alone painted a picture of someone battling an old trauma, something too painful to revisit. Meanwhile, the mysterious woman who handed him the envelope was spotted leaving the venue earlier, escorted by another member of Johnny's old inner circle. She kept her head down, avoided cameras, and entered a black sedan that sped away before paparazzi could follow. Hours later, an entertainment blogger posted, "The woman is not a random figure. She is deeply connected to something from Johnny's past, something personal that the public never knew. This ignited one of the most chaotic rumor storms in recent entertainment history. Some believed she was an ex-partner from years ago. Others said she was connected to a financial dispute. A few fans insisted she was related to Johnny's early Hollywood days, when he was young, wild, and surrounded by the kind of chaos that leaves permanent scars. But the rumor that gained the most traction was the one that involved Johnny's family. Specifically, his children. A viral post claimed, "What if the envelope contained something about Lily Rose or Jack? Johnny would break before letting anything hurt them." Fans immediately latched onto it because they knew one thing: Johnny would go to war for his kids. He always had. Then, things turned explosive. A well-known Hollywood journalist revealed that they had been tipped off about a sealed matter involving Johnny years ago, something that was handled quietly, discreetly, and without publicity. According to the journalist, if this is related to that sealed incident, then Johnny is in a difficult situation. Revealing it could damage someone he loves. Hiding it could damage him. People were horrified. A secret so big it could hurt his kids. A truth so dangerous it could destroy his peace. Within hours, Johnny's daughter Lily Rose updated her Instagram account, but instead of posting a picture, she deleted 2 old photos and added a cryptic message to her close friend's story. "I hate when old wounds reopen." Even though it wasn't public, it leaked. Of course it leaked. Fans lost their minds. Something is going on in their family. You don't say that unless you're hurting. Johnny must be protecting them. And for the first time, people weren't just worried, they were terrified. But then came another jolt. A person claiming to be close to the mysterious woman sent an anonymous message to a gossip channel, saying she didn't come to hurt him. She came because she felt she had no choice. This truth involves both of them. Both of them. That single phrase changed the entire narrative. No longer was it a one-sided attack. No longer was it blackmail or revenge. This sounded like a shared secret. A secret that connected Johnny and the woman in ways fans never anticipated. The anonymous message continued, "He knows what's in the envelope. He just didn't expect her to bring it forward. They made an agreement years ago, but something has changed." An agreement? A pact? A promise from the past that was now breaking? Twitter imploded. Fans were divided. Some angry at the woman, others defending her, others begging Johnny to speak publicly before speculation destroyed him. But the sad truth was, Johnny wasn't ready to speak. Because according to the insider present at the private residence that night, Johnny finally opened the envelope around 4 a.m. What he saw inside made him cover his mouth, his eyes filling with tears. He whispered one word, "No." Not sadness, not anger. It was something deeper: shock, pain, fear, whatever was inside that envelope. It didn't just scare Johnny Depp. It shattered him. As the truth continues to unravel and Johnny Depp's world hangs in the balance, fans everywhere are left with more questions than answers. What was in that envelope? Why now? And how will this revelation reshape everything we thought we knew about him? One thing is certain: this story isn't over, and the next chapter could change everything. If you want to stay ahead of the twists, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, what do you think Johnny is hiding? Your voice might uncover the next clue.